This week on Overball, I get a £65,000 MPV and Rich doesn't like it.
There is no pleasing me.
Also this week, is Volkswagen okay? Hello and welcome to episode 8 of Overball with me, Scrof, and...
Not Scrof.
The man who's not Scrof. We are basically Smith and Sniff from Temu.
Which is that's the done thing now. We don't say wish anymore.
Is it Temu or Temu?
Temu.
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 Temu. Is it Temu?
I don't know.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Smith and Sniff from Wish.
No, we are our own people. We are our own people.
I suppose we are.
We are just worse. Admittedly,
Yeah, I mean, you know.
But we are...
If you want a really good podcast, you can go and listen to them. If you want an average podcast, you're in the right place.
They've got the money and the know-how and the experience in that field.
Yeah.
We are very much rank amateurs.
Yeah. That's our tagline. Rank amateurs at automotive podcasting.
Most people listening to this or watching it could probably do a better job.
Oh, I'm sure. So I'm not quite sure why you're listening. But thank you for listening anyway. Don't go away. You just enjoy our podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please.
Please enjoy our podcast.
Although I'd be interested to know how many people who are listening are not like friends of yours on social easy for me to say.
Social media.
Social media. And how many of them are not people that just like watch me prat around on YouTube. And how many of them have actually found this like
just completely
by like not knowing who you are or not knowing who I am. I would be interested to hear from those people.
If you don't know us,
and tell us what you typed in to find.
Yeah, please.
What were you searching for that made you stumble across this?
Don't forget, you can find us on Social Media. We're on all of the main things, and you can also email us if you want to. Our email address is overballpod@gmail.com. Please email us and tell us things, thoughts, observations, views, comments, where you're listening, how you're listening, what you're driving.
How many fish you have in your dashboard.
How many fish you have in your dashboard.
And what type of fish.
Yeah, that's a really important point, actually.
This thing, you could have a shark.
Yeah. We covered this last week. This hasn't got any fish in its dashboard, unfortunately, unlike the Honda E we discussed last week.
Pretty disappointing.
Which I think is an oversight on the part of Volkswagen. This is a Volkswagen we're finding ourselves in this with. This is the Volkswagen ID.Buzz. You're going to be seeing a bit more of this because I think we might use it as a bit of a mobile podcasting studio later in the year, but we'll see how that works because Rich doesn't really like it. I like it, Rich doesn't really like it.
Well, it's not that I don't like it, it's just that when you turned up I thought you looked ridiculous.
But I look ridiculous in anything I drive.
No, some cars have blacked out windows and are understated. This is going, oh, look at me everyone, I'm fun.
We'll put a picture up on our socials and I'll try and get one to search.
Unless it was that bright yellow, that would be the worst one.
It is a Volkswagen ID.Buzz. It is white over metallic green two-tone, and it's kind of a metallic turquoisey teal kind of colour.
It looks terrible.
I think it's brilliant. I think it's tremendous. Tell us what you think. Let's have a bit of a vote. The readers, I mean, the listeners can listen and tell us.
Yes, they can tell us. What do they think by their ears?
Yes, exactly.
I think it like the styling of it isn't horrendous because at the end of the day, it's a van.
Yes.
What more can you do with a van? There's not a lot you can do. But I think the colours, if it was not quite as ridiculous,
you'd like it a lot more.
I think I'd be, yeah.
So what you're saying is you're really superficial and it's all about the colours?
I think if it was like black along the top and kind of like a moody grey or silver or even some sort of blue.
You want less colour?
Yeah.
You just dark.
I don't mind it in the inside. It's kind of, it's more airy and interesting.
I really like the inside. I quite like the inside. But the only thing I'm worried about with the inside is obviously I have 2 children and this is very light. This is all going to get very grubby. I sort of have this fear.
Be a good test of it.
Well, quite. That's the thing.
If the exterior was just all that green, it wouldn't be as bad.
Yeah, you can get them just as all that green.
It's that silly like two-tone thing, and then the massive wheels, and it just looks a bit like.
Well, this is on optional wheels. It's on the 20.
Hey everyone, I'm a surfer.
I am actually going to go surfing in it later this year for a feature. That's part of my commission for running.
Where I live, it's just full of Volkswagen T5 vans. And they've all been converted to day vans.
Oh, yeah.
There used to be a builder's van, and now it's a day van.
It's not a builder's van
It's got a surfboard on the roof, and it's never been near the sea, and it's a lot. The closest it's been to the sea is the ice cream van on the beach.
The fake surfboard. It's like the fake M badge for a 3 Series, but you've got a fake surfboard on your Volkswagen T5.
It's that kind of thing. That's all you get around. And I'm walking down the seafront going, do you know, I think a Vauxhall Movano would have been a better choice.
Yeah.
More space.
Actually, the people who really do surf, they've got something like an old Traffic or something like that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
You know, that's probably the way to do it.
Crafter.
A crafter, yeah. Crafter with a mattress in the back. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
That's what you need. This is not a crafter with a mattress in the back. This is one of Volkswagen's latest kind of electric offerings. It's part of the ID range. So you've kind of got the ID.3, the ID.5, the ID.4, the ID.7, and this is the ID.Buzz. And Buzz is obviously because we're German and we're being very humorous, it's a take on the word bus.
Because it's so fun.
Because it's very fun.
Yeah. Is that what it is? It's supposed to be bus?
Yes, it's a bus. It's an ID.Buzz, but it's a bus with Zs because we're cool and funky. Yeah. This is it. I can tell he's going to love this. He's just going to love it.
No, I mean, I wouldn't like it to affect my first impressions are not actually amazing.
No. Well, quite.
Not just on the way it looks.
Yeah.
But there's quite a bit of it that I've noticed when I've got in and gone.
There's a lot. So this area down here is the problem with pretty much every Volkswagen, every modern Volkswagen.
So there are no solid controls.
Barely anything.
To change it's all logic, isn't it?
It's all.
No, it's not even logic.
It's all stuff.
It's just touch sensitive controls.
Yeah.
That is bloody stupid.
So what you so the way this works, you know.
And on here.
Yeah. Well, these aren't actually. Well, these are a bit funny. I'll show you why. Because if you touch them, they are actually buttons, but it's all a panel that kind of moves and it gives you a bit of haptic feedback. Does that make sense?
I'd be doing that when I'm driving on the road.
Yeah, you kind of want it. It's a bit weird. Try if you adjust the volume on there, you'll feel it gives you a bit of haptic feedback.
That's not haptic feedback. That's actual movement.
It's movement, but there's a bit of haptic feedback in there as well. It's actually like giving you a little bit of vibration too.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they can't just use the vibration of the switch. We've got to put a bit of fakery in there too.
Do you know the latest Golf? They've actually put buttons back on the steering wheel. Though when they facelifted the Golf, they made a big song and dance.
Well, we should talk about that. In fact, we hadn't even planned this.
Yeah.
We haven't even done what have you been doing this week.
No.
I didn't ask you in the last one what you've done this week.
No. I'm deeply mortified.
It's just it's almost like it's ill prepared. But but hasn't there been some kind of thing in Euro NCAP recently where they've said like to get a full rating you can't have these wanky
controls. But if you actually look, now this is really interesting. You're right, and I think that it should go. See,
I'm paying attention to current affairs.
Look at you with your current affairs. I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed.
I know.
Yeah, actually,
I didn't read it.
Actually,
just saw it.
The Euro NCAP thing's really interesting because there is a move towards putting physical buttons back in the car, and I'm like, great, that's brilliant. What buttons are you going to do? And I think it's something like the hazard light switch and about 3 other buttons, and I'm like, oh, well, that's disappointing because actually we need a lot more. We need a lot more of these buttons to be kind of mandated to be physical because all this touch sensitive stuff does is yes, that's a physical button, the hazard lights.
Oh, that's a horrible noise.
It's very artificial, isn't it?
Oh, it's got those horrible scrolling indicators. I can see it.
It has. You can actually turn them off. There's a function.
What, just make them proper ones?
Yeah, you can just make proper ones. You can turn them off in the screen. There's somewhere in here.
You need to do that.
But yeah, the big problem with most modern Volkswagens is this bit here, which is kind of, they call it, it's their software they brought out with the ID.3 called Cariad. I don't know what it stands for. It stands for something. But what you've got is basically you've got a big touchscreen in the middle, and along the bottom of the touchscreen, you've got touch-sensitive sliders, they call them. There's one on each side to adjust the temperature.
Like on your phone when you're zooming in and out, basically.
Yeah, basically. And there's one on each side to do the temperature and one in the middle to do the volume. The problem is, as you can no doubt tell, and this is always a big problem when the ID.3 came out, some absolute fool who decided to design this didn't illuminate them, so you can't see the sliders at night. Huge.
They don't light up. Well, even if you put lights on.
Try the lights. They might have. I know they changed it on the Golf.
Is that the lights?
That is the lights, but I don't think they're on properly because the car's not on.
It says auto, low and high. What's that?
That'll be the lights. Hang on, let me have a look. Yeah, that'll be the headlights. Oh no, that's not the headlights. Oh no, the headlights are down there. It's a touch panel on this. Really irritating again. Can't just have a little rotary switch, it's a touchpad. Yeah. I told you.
Is it the one that says mode?
No, there's a...
with a picture of a side light.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, that's it. You just turned on the heated front screen as well by accident.
And it's turned itself off.
Has it?
Yeah, straight away it turned itself off.
Oh. So yes,
this is horrendous. Light is switched off. Automatic.
And now you're starting to see why I get really frustrated with touch sensitive stuff in cars.
Oh, that's appalling.
So imagine now, I want you to imagine
Even the plastic feels really cheap.
You're driving down the road. It's just got foggy, and it's night time.
And you're faffing about.
And you go, right, I need to get the fog lights on.
And you switch your heated front screen on.
Yeah, exactly. I've actually been in an ID.4 and done that.
What does the thing where it says front and it's got a picture of a cloud?
That's your front rain and fog lights, possibly. I don't know. It's like it's a fog mode for the headlights.
Because the button doesn't even light up.
No, well, you might find it's because the car's not turned on at the moment. Again, this probably all illuminates when you actually turn the car on. Is that illuminated now? Right. Oh yeah, the sliders do illuminate on this. This is one of the ones they've updated.
Well, that's made you look a prick, hasn't it?
Well, yes and no. Yes, it has. But also, they didn't when they first brought this out. When they first brought the ID.3 out, those weren't illuminated.
I hate it. This is awful.
I hate it. Yeah, it's really silly. Why
does it turn the heated front screen back on when I turn the lights off? I didn't touch it.
I'm so happy you're getting to experience this because I'm not even
driving.
This is the bane of my life in modern cars. This is the worst.
Okay, yeah,
if you sit here and you say to me, right, Alex, what's the worst thing about modern cars?
No,
it's this.
Stop turning things on. I'm trying to turn things off. Please check Safe Lock Owner's Manual. No, just go away. Why won't it go away?
It's off now. It's off. It's off.
No, but everything's still on.
Yeah, it turns off when you open the door. Once you open the door, it'll turn it all off. I think.
Well, it's made you look a prick again, because it hasn't.
Well, it is technically off, it's just the screens are still illuminated.
And the switch gear is that's illuminated.
Okay. Probably turn itself off.
Why is the door turned blue? That was red earlier on.
It was red earlier on, wasn't it? I think because I don't know, I'd need to look into that.
Is it because the heater's on cold, not hot?
It might be. That might be one of those, yeah.
Oh, this is going to be a long podcast.
So anyway, welcome to the Volkswagen ID.Buzz. This stuff you're experiencing here, this is endemic in a lot of modern cars. So...
Oh, well, I won't buy one then.
Yeah, this is... There are two things that I hate most in modern cars. One is this, what I call touchscreen ideology, where we must make everything touch sensitive because it's whizzy and we think people will like it. The other is the driver aids. We'll do the driver aids on another show because I can't be bothered to talk about it now. But yeah, this is. Do you know when they first made this system? Just realised this wasn't what.
These buttons down here.
Yep.
I know you were in a roll there, but. So that one opens that door,
yep.
And that one opens that door,
yep.
And that makes the doors fall off. Is that what it does? Why would you want the doors to fall off?
I think what it actually does is it turns the ability to open them from the back off if you have children. So the children can't press the little button in the back and open the doors. Which is, a worthwhile... It's a child lock, basically. Do you know when they first...
child lock?
So when Volkswagen first brought out this system, this is the updated system.
It still hasn't gone away.
This bit along the bottom that does your climate control, gives you easy access to the climate control, wasn't there. So to get to the climate control, while you're driving along, you basically had to do that, go into the menus, do that, find in here, where is it? Aircon, and then that was how you would adjust the climate control. Fortunately, they've added this little shortcut bar on the bottom, which means you can do it. This is what I bang on about all the time, about how touchscreen stuff is incredibly frustrating.
Sorry, how is that any different from looking at your phone when you're driving down the road?
I completely agree.
It's not.
Yeah, no.
That's no different.
I agree. It's so distracting, and it means that what you used to be able to do literally by reaching your hand out and fiddling around with a knob, so to speak, you now have to do. And the problem is as well because it's
which you would do if you had one of these.
Well, absolutely. So each time with a touchscreen as well, you can't feel for it. So you have to look at where you're putting your finger every time. So each time you're pressing that, you're doing a little look away from the road.
There's no haptic feedback on the screen.
There's no haptic feedback on this screen. No. So that is we've hit upon the worst thing about this car. This is the worst thing about it.
Has worse driver controls than a Daihatsu Sirion.
It's got worse driver controls than an awful lot of things. And I've never been a fan of touchscreens, and this is actually one of my least favourite touchscreen systems as well. So, yeah, I'm completely in agreement with you.
And the other thing
I can't sit here and defend it. I'd love to sit here and give you what?
Why is the steering wheel hot?
Oh, the heated wheels on. There you go.
Why do you need a heated wheel?
Oh, it's great. I love a heated steering wwheel. Cold morning.
People are such minces these days, aren't they? But the dashboard, that's well tinny.
Yeah. And it's another. So this is
genuinely.
This is actually a good thing to talk about. Is what on earth has actually happened to Volkswagen? Because the time was The one thing you could do is you could buy a Golf and you'd know it was going to feel quite good inside. Yeah. We talked about Mark IV Golfs on the podcast before being like a high watermark. And in the last few years, there's been this change.
That's the worst bit.
Yeah, that's not nice, is it? That's not a nice feeling.
That is awful.
Yeah, that's really tacky, isn't it?
Put that in your review.
Yeah, I'm going to.
And then send me a link.
I will, don't worry.
But you'll have to copy and screenshot it because I'm not a subscriber.
No, I can do that. But this stuff on the top's not nice either. No,
it's not. That's like a Berlingo.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's like a Berlingo van.
And this has been the problem with a lot of modern Volkswagens, is they've kind of this idea of perceived quality that they used to have has gone away, and a lot of the materials are less good. There's not very much free play in the indicator stalk, though, I think you'll find. So, by your standards, this is a high quality car.
That feels just like a Golf Mark IV or Mark V or something.
Yeah, that bit's all right.
Oh, that's crap.
It's a bit clacky, isn't it? Yeah.
The vent. I thought the vent was going to be some smooth, greased sort of oiled movement.
No.
And it's really.
Yeah.
How much is this?
This, do you really want to know? Have a guess. Go on. Don't forget, it's big, electric. So this is the 7-seat one as well. So it's the long wheelbase. And it's
why would you not have a 7-seat with all that room? You might.
Yeah, when they first launched this, it only had 5 seats. They did a short wheelbase one.
Why has it got a tricolor on the roof?
I couldn't tell you. Oh, that's the climate control in the back. That's to adjust the.
I can look in the mirror and go.
That's to adjust your climate control in the back.
My roots. Well, it's not my roots. I'm not French.
I was going to say
you are.
Yeah.
Half, aren't you?
Yeah, a little bit. But I didn't know how to.
It was just no. I don't. I just like France.
Just like France. Yeah.
Just like the way they.
Francophile.
I like the way they do things.
I see. Not this way, basically. Although, to be fair,
there's a little bit
cheap plastics are a French hallmark, to be fair.
I was gonna get segued there and go, what are they like now? But no, you were saying something else. Carry on.
What was I saying?
It would have been.
Yeah, that was
very insightful.
No, you're right. Well, it wasn't. Let's face it. It was basically that modern Volkswagens are not what they used to be. It's a bit of a shame, really, because you used to go even up to like the Mark 7 Golf. You could go and get in a Mark 7 Golf. The perceived quality was really, really good. My old man's got a Mark 7 Golf. My Skoda's not quite a Mark 7 Golf, but you've got kind of even Volkswagens of that era had this kind of high quality feel. And lately they've kind of lost it a little bit.
There's a difference if you got into a Mark IV Golf.
Oh yeah.
And then stepped out of a Mark IV Golf and got into, say, I know it's it's not unfair. They are cars of the same era. Mm-hmm. Got into a Mark I Focus.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference in the kind of quality of everything.
Yeah.
I personally think that falls into a little bit of I think there's a little bit of bunkum when he used the word bunkum.
Good use of the word bunkum. I like it.
I think there's a bit of bunkum about German engineering, because I think actually the Germans in an engineering sense, true engineering sense, I don't actually think it's that big a deal.
Well, that's
why they're good at the perceived.
That's why I use the word perceived.
They're good
quality.
At making the indicators feel nice, making the glove box clunk nicely, and everything like that, making the doors clunk shut.
Yeah.
But actual engineering in terms of like dynamics, of chassis dynamics, of thinking ergonomically, like a Saab designer might have done, that kind of thing. I don't think they're actually anything special.
No. Yeah. I can see that. I can see that.
I do concede that in the days of like the Golf Mark IV, compare it to a Focus or like Christ, Mark IV Golf came out. I know it's a Zara. Would have been, and a Megane. They're kind of era-wise. The Golf was leagues ahead. Yeah. This is shite. Honestly, the plastic in it is.
The plastic quality is not great. Yeah, it's a good question. What has happened? I think there's been a lot. I think part of it is Dieselgate. Part of it is that Volkswagen.
Oh, they were naughty boys.
They were, and they've had to pay a lot of money out on Dieselgate. Part of it is. There's been a lot of attention to this, which they've not actually done very well.
No, at
the expense of this, which they used to do very well, which is a bit of a shame. Yeah, that's the thing, and that's kind of the pity, is that they needed a lot more. They've taken money out of this to do this. Sorry for our listeners, they've taken money out of the quality. To do
honestly, listeners, right? Go to your Volkswagen dealer that's got one of these things in it, right? Get in and feel the doors, because honestly, the plastic on this door card ain't much different from that Daihatsu we were in last week.
It's probably a little bit overstating it. I think
it's not much different.
It is.
It's better.
It is,
but
better.
It's not but it's not leagues ahead.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that plastic there is...
This black infill panel around the door handles is a bit
fake
tacky.
alloy door handle.
I mean, put it this way. What I'd say is, for me, this is kind of on a par with any kind of Hyundai or Kia or anything like that.
Really? Are they not better than this?
Well, they might even be better,
So
these days, that what you were talking about there, where you were saying kind of the Mark IV Golf versus its rivals, that gap has diminished. It's gone completely.
But this is what I said when we had that Genesis thing in. Yeah. And, you know, back in the days, there used to be a Golf between... A Golf.
Very good.
There used to be a chasm.
Yeah.
Volkswagen chasm between like the VAG. Yeah. Well, this is falling into the Volkswagen chasm, this one, but there used to be a gap, didn't there, between the kind of perceived quality of like that the first Audi A4. Yeah. And you know the Mark IV Golf was a jump compared to its rivals and that. Yeah. And then we sat in that Genesis the other day, and I thought I can't really see how there's a massive jump from this now to Volkswagens and Audis and things like that.
As I said, you've got to caveat that with the idea that the Genesis is a premium brand now. The idea is that it's supposed to be really quite high
Audi's supposed to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But, you know, I think with it it's more evident in terms of the way Volkswagen's kind of perceived quality has slipped in recent years.
It really has. Is this akin to the sort of Mercedes drop in the mid-90s?
Yeah, I think it is. I think you can draw a parallel between where kind of priorities have been changed, and in doing so they've lost what made the brand effectively. And I think I've always found that a bit of a shame. In my family are lifelong Volkswagen buyers. My folks have had as I say, my dad's got a Mark VII Golf at the moment. He had 2 Passats before that, so he's had Passat he's had Volkswagen since 1998. My mum has had a Polo and an Up. So you know, my parents are a Volkswagen family.
I do like a Lupo GTI.
Lupo GTI is a great thing.
Yeah,
that's a great thing.
I do like one.
And again, from that same era where the Lupo was lower quality because it was a smaller and cheaper car, but still of that era where quality was really good. But you can kind of trace that slight downhill spiral through. You know, my dad's first Passat was a B5 Passat.
I don't know what that is.
That was kind of 1998 Passat. He then bought the Passat that came after that, which was kind of a B6 it's known as. But then that, you know, it was I suppose the thing with that was it was kind of more styled, whereas
slightly more stylish.
The older Passat was kind of very much form over function. Yeah. But I kind of liked it. It was kind of a Bauhaus kind of look, and I thought it was actually quite a nice looking car. But they'd done less on the styling and more on the quality. And then there was this change to we've got to do more on the styling, less on the quality. You see it in the Mark V Golf as well. Same sort of thing. The quality's not quite as high. Go on.
The A6 from
yes.
96,
I know the one you're going to say. With the window line that looked like half a lemon.
It's a little bit like a C6.
A little bit like a C6.
A little bit. And then the rear lights that sort of...
Swear jar? We're back at Citroens again?
No. I think... because I'm just saying that obviously I have one of those, so I'm...
You're relating it to... Okay, all right, I'll let you have it.
And I would concede the Audi came out first.
That's true.
There actually are a lot of similarities, even the lights by the rear number plate.
I see it, I can see it.
I don't know what Audi A6 that's called. And I wouldn't have...
C6, I think. C6A6.
Is it really?
I think it is actually the C6A6.
Right.
I think it might be. I could be wrong. Readers will correct me. Listeners will correct me if I'm wrong. But
I quite like those. I think,
they're nice. But again, you jump in one of those. The interior just feels so solid. So solid.
Decent quality.
And I think that's actually one of the things Volkswagen has lost. Now, I don't know who's to blame for that, but there was definitely an idea by management, particularly the CEO of Volkswagen, a chap called Herbert Diess. He was very keen on electrification, obviously, and very keen on a certain way of doing things. He was outspoken in his admiration of Teslas and Elon Musk, and you can kind of almost chart
quite a small club at the moment.
You can kind of You can kind of chart a pattern under his leadership where
things you go on to regret.
Yeah, quite. Yeah, I've often wondered what his feeling will be about that nowadays. Yeah, you can
not the Volkswagen had any connections.
You can kind of chart, like with this, for example. This is a bit like a Tesla in that if you get in this car and select drive, it will go. You don't need to, if you've got the key in your pocket, you don't actually need to turn it on. You can just get in the car, put it in drive, and it will go, like a Tesla does. That's what Teslas do. And you can kind of see these little things where they've almost, I wouldn't say copied, but definitely taken inspiration from, if not copied, Teslas. And certain things have come at the expense of this ideology, this touchscreen ideology. Again, Teslas don't have physical buttons. It's all very touchscreen centric, and you kind of almost feel
to bring that stupid thing in.
Exactly, you can kind of feel Volkswagen going, well, we need to be a bit more like Tesla. which I think was a huge mistake, personally.
We need to be a bit more like Tesla, said no one ever.
But there is good news, because Herbert Diess is no longer in charge at Volkswagen. There's now a chap called Thomas Schaefer, who's at Volkswagen. He used to be the boss of Skoda.
Herbert Diess helping someone run for government in Germany?
I don't think so, no. But can you imagine?
Acting like a bit of a tool in front of the nation. No, it's got to be a nation that he's not even from. So
no, that's it. It would have to be somewhere else.
Australia or
Australia.
something.
But now the chap in charge at Volkswagen is a chap called Thomas Schaefer. He used to be the boss of Skoda.
I think he's a weatherman.
Thomas Schaffernacker.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Close, though. Good reference. I liked it.
Why did I remember that?
That's amazing. Rich's knowledge of BBC weathermen.
Things that
incredible.
I tell you, if I ever get dementia, the things that are going to come out of my mouth, the random bits of info that I've retained.
I mean, it's not far off now, to be fair.
No, it's not a million miles. It would be if. It's not going to be an if, is it? It's just a case of when it gets diagnosed.
Anyway, Schaefer, he's been very much outspoken about, yes, we need more buttons. We've gone away from the stuff we are, known for.
Yeah, but that's easy to do. It's easy to come in and slag off what the old guy did.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're a football manager,
and
you can come in and go, it's all been done wrong, I'm going to do it different.
And to be fair, it's also worth pointing out that that will not happen overnight. I mean, what we're seeing here in this car that's made now is the result of decisions that were probably taken 10, 15 years ago. Yeah. Likewise, the decisions that are taken now won't come to fruition for another 10, 15 years, but you can already see it. Like, for example, as I mentioned earlier on, in the facelift of the Mark 8 Golf, so the Mark 8.5, it used to have a steering wheel like this, with this kind of sort of semi-touch sensitive thing. They've now replaced it with actual proper physical buttons on the steering wheel.
If you're a viewer or listener, Alex is pointing to a crap steering wheel.
Yes. Well, I'm pointing to, a steering wheel which has buttons that aren't buttons on it, that are trying to be touched. They're kind of touch sensitive.
Do you know what I appreciate more than anything?
Go on.
Sitting in this?
What?
The Mark II Polo. When Volkswagens...
I know why you're saying that.
When Volkswagens were Volkswagens.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just appreciate it a little bit more.
This is the thing. I do. There's genuinely, I cannot escape this notion that I want Volkswagen to get back to what used to make Volkswagens really good. Even
make them boring, make them solid, make them simple.
That's it.
Right?
That's it. That's what I want from a Volkswagen.
Tell everyone that that's the way to do it.
I want it to be deeply boring and practical and pragmatic and sensible.
I want my Citroens to be tinny and floaty.
Do you know what was great?
And my Fiats to be like high revving and light. And
that's it.
Now
you want them
just
to have the
crap. Everything's just rubbish, isn't it? Everything's just.
So when we started this podcast, part of my mission was to show you some good things about modern cars. Do you think I'm succeeding?
No.
Okay.
But you haven't bought me any nice modern cars.
You like the Genesis?
I didn't like the Genesis. That's asking the term "like" to carry a heavy load.
Tolerated the Genesis. You appreciated it. You respected the Genesis.
I appreciated certain elements of it. Right. If you brought me, which I've been hoping that you would do, you still haven't done it. Bought me an Alpine A110. I'll be very happy.
Just phone up Alpine and be like, can I just bring one round to show my mate, please?
Yeah, he really likes
I don't have that
I watched my chum Hubnut do his road test in one, which is a very unlike him kind of car to do.
Absolutely, yeah.
But the thing I took from it is that it has a chassis exactly that I would want. It's kind of a little bit softer.
Yeah.
But
they're really.
But it just rides the road. It just glides over everything, nice. But it's taut at the same time.
I wouldn't say it's soft, but it is not soft. It is, but pliant.
Yeah,
it's
kind of like in the way the Noble was.
Yeah, exactly that. It's that sort of idea.
It's not rigid and scuttling about.
No.
It's just a little bit softer than other manufacturers might have chosen to do it, but it's better for it. Like Lotus used to do. Lotus were always good for that.
No, you're right.
Bring me an Alpine.
Okay. A challenge accepted. It'll probably be a couple of years, but we need to grow our numbers.
We're not going to be doing this in a couple of years, are we?
Oh, you're very pessimistic.
I'm amazing we got to episode 8. We
have episode 8.
If the numbers tail off soon, much more, they'll just go down and down and down and down and down. Alex, there's literally no point doing this now. No one's watching it. No, we have still got a view.
Screaming into the void.
I say we have still got a view, and I'll be like, no, that's me testing it in the car, make sure it sounds all right. So, and one of them's your mum.
Probably.
I listened to your show, Alex. It was very enjoyable. Did you like the bit we said about the Volkswagens? Oh, I must have dozed off at that one. Sorry,
to be fair, most people are asleep. Most people are probably listening to this as a cure for insomnia at night. It's probably a little bit of our soothing voices are lulling them to sleep.
Maybe. But
if you are and you're not listening to us and you're fast asleep, well, good for you.
Try and hypnotise them.
Yeah.
We'll give us some backs details.
What would be the objective?
Send money.
Hey, that's a new way of monetising a podcast, isn't it?
Send money to Overbore. Give Overbore a TV slot. I don't want to be on TV, but give Overbore a TV slot. Pay them the money.
Shall I show you one thing you can do with this? There you go.
You can break the interior.
And take the centre console out.
To be fair, it kind of feels like it will break.
Yeah.
It's just a giant toaster. Isn't it? It's just put two
What's this? I wonder.
Two shoe annuals in there. There's loaves of bread.
This feels like it should open. There's bits on the end that feel like they should open. I'm sorry, I'm discovering bits about this car. I've only just got this, so I'm still learning stuff about it.
That's Daihatsu grade plastic.
Yeah, that's not great, I must admit. You see, this is the problem is actually...
What's the point of this?
Yeah, well, I think the idea is that you can create a walkthrough there if you want to. You can kind of turn it into more of a kind of a walkthrough.
And trip over these things.
Yeah, well, you can fold them flush into the floor. That's the thing. The clippy bits that this clips into. I appreciate we're doing a very visual podcast at the moment. If you're listening to this, you're probably not getting the full benefit. Basically, what I've just done is I've just unclipped the little module in the middle that forms the centre console.
I'm not won over by it. I have to be honest.
I got that impression.
Damaged.
Generally speaking,
damaged.
Is it?
Yeah, look, it's got a little bit of trim there.
Oh dear, shocking. I think we should do another podcast on this on another day, and we should sit in the back, and we should see if you like the back anymore. I mean, the one thing this has got is a ton of space.
Well, that's because it's massive.
Well, yeah, it's true.
You can't shut the door on the workshop. It's all very well saying it's got a ton of space, but if it takes up a ton of space, that's not really...
well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Oh, I meant to tell you on the way down here today, a very, very podcast-relevant stuff. I passed a Citroen Synergy.
Oh, now you've got to put something in the C-word jar.
That's true. Well, no, because you got one mention.
No, but I was mentioning my car,
and I'm merely referring back to a previous episode, our MPVs
Tell everyone
episode.
It was a Fiat Ulysses.
Okay, well it was, but just with a different badge. And then I passed a Mark 1 Charan.
Oh, okay.
And then I passed a Peugeot 106.
Hey!
And I was like, I'm literally passing...
Oh, shit, where's my Peugeot 106 gone?
Where is your Peugeot 106? Somebody nicked it?
Oh. That's a dramatic turn of events.
We'll find it later.
There can't be more than one round here.
You've probably just put it somewhere. It's so small you can't see it. Is it actually just parked next to the Buzz, and the Buzz is so huge you can't see it behind the Buzz?
I've got a horrible feeling it might have been parked where the Buzz is.
We flattened it!
Oh, that's unfortunate. Damn.
Poor Dumpet. Anyway, so that I think is...
You never actually told me how much this costs, because you were
I sort of conveniently swerved that, didn't I?
This is now the comedy section in the podcast.
We do need to mention that.
To the comedy element.
So I haven't checked the actual spec on this one, but these in long wheelbase form with the big battery and so on and so forth, you're talking about 65,000.
It's a van.
Yes, it's an electric van.
I don't care. I don't care how it moves. It's a van.
Yes. Well, they are a lot of money. I can't find a way around that.
Oh, how much is my beloved Alpine A1 Turner?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to check. It's probably about the same, to be honest, these days. I mean, the one thing is, as we've discussed, everything is expensive.
£65,000 for a van with Daihatsu grade plastic.
If you went and bought if Ford still made it Galaxy and made it electric, you'd probably be paying 55, 60 grand for that, because just everything is that these days. And I'm not trying to get away from the fact it's a lot of money for what it is. But then
actually, now looking back at it, that Genesis was very expensive, wasn't it?
Yes.
But if you said to me now, you've got to have one of the two.
Yeah, you'd probably have that.
I'd have the Genesis. Yeah, if you've got to own one of the two, I'd have the Genesis. Yeah. Actually, my family would kill me because I've got a family of 5. So this would be ideal.
Yeah, it'd be perfect. So here's my question to you. Is this therefore worse or better than somebody buying a 7-seat SUV?
This is better than an SUV.
This is better than a 7-seat SUV.
If you take away the...
So you still feel that even though you don't like this, you still prefer this to a 7-seat SUV?
Yeah, if you take away the way it looks and the dashboard and the little buttons and things like that.
This is the problem with it is I actually think the basic car, the actual Buzz
I think as a concept,
the space and this and the other. I love the
as a concept. I like the concept.
I love the retro feel.
And when you
love
said
the
you were
colour
bringing
scheme.
it down,
yep.
I wanted to like it.
Yep.
And as soon as I saw it in the car park, I went, "Oh, for Christ's sake, that looks awful."
I like the concept. I'm just not a huge fan of the execution.
No,
that's basically what it comes down to.
I would agree with that. I think it's too much money. They've spent money. I don't mind the style of the. I actually quite like the view out the front.
Yeah, I do.
There's a little bit. Oh, I'm gonna bloody C word, Jar.
It's a little bit.
You know what I'm going to say?
Yeah, I do. I know where you're going.
It's a little bit like an XM.
Yeah.
Out the front.
Yeah, absolutely.
I kind of like.
Lights,
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I like the shape.
Yeah.
I like the practicality aspect of it. I think if you had this and you were going on holiday with a family, you'd have a lovely time. You'd be.
Yeah, well, we are. We're taking it to France in summertime. We're going to see how it goes.
I wouldn't actually say it's that comfy. I thought it was comfy when I first sat in it.
No,
I sit in it.
I need to work out. I can't find any kind of lumbar adjustment on the seat.
The longer I sit in it, the more I think it's not actually.
I'm wondering whether it needs a little bit more lower back support, to be honest with you. But yeah, as a thing to go on holiday in the family, you know, go camping in the summer and this, that, and the other, I think it's going to be quite good fun.
It does very much feel like a van.
I'm not going to lie to you. For all its faults, I'm quite excited about running this for 6 months because I think I can see myself enjoy it. And as a family wagon, the kids are going to love it, for example.
But the downside is you might see yourself in a shop window.
Oh, I've not had a problem. You've forgotten. Have you remembered some of the old tat I've driven around in? I don't care what I look like.
Neither do I, but there's limits. You're talking to somebody,
I don't have limits.
You're talking to someone who cuts his hair once a year. And I'd be like, I'd be a bit embarrassed to be in that. I'd rather be in like anything else.
Really? Really?
Well, not anything else.
No, I was going to say not a 7-seat SUV, as we just discussed.
I wouldn't want to have seen in a Tesla, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's the. I don't know. I don't like the scrolling lights, and it's all a bit chintzy and a bit like it's trying too hard.
Don't forget,
it's trying to be fun. You know what this is? Yeah. This car is the automotive equivalent of going, "Hi, kids." It is.
How do you do, fellow kids?
How do you do, fellow kids? Yes. It's like trying to be hip and cool, and it's like you're not hip and cool because if you've got 65 grand to spend on a car, you're not hip and cool.
No, but also if you've got 65 grand and you need a car like, but we are now revisiting all the old MPV stereotypes.
Yeah, I know, but this is the thing. I love MPVs. I respect them and everything, but they're not cool. I know they're not cool.
True. Yeah.
You never buy an MPV because it's cool.
But what if somebody could make an MPV that people who are spending money on new cars on, not necessarily you, found to be cool, and therefore they didn't buy an SUV instead?
They're not cool by default because they're like buying a new car. Okay,
take your point, but
cool would be someone buying a Mercedes 300 SL. And using it as a daily.
Where I'm trying to go with this is, if somebody's if you know, I'm fairly agnostic about new cars, but if
I don't think that's the right word for that, but okay.
Well, we'll go with it anyway. I've said it now.
I neither believe I don't know if I believe in new cars or not. I'm not sure. I'm on the fence.
Well, I kind of am, you know. I have to be quite balanced about the way I look at them, and I try to be. But from your point of view, you really hate 7-seat SUVs, and I can respect that. I'm absolutely.
It's not 7-seat SUVs. I just hate SUVs.
Hate SUVs generally. Absolutely fine. So I suppose what I'm saying is, what the point I'm trying to get at is, if somebody's buying this instead of an SUV, if this being hip and cool in a how do you do, fellow kids way means somebody buys it instead of buying an SUV.
No, I think this is providing a worthwhile service.
Okay.
An ambulance is not a hip and cool vehicle. It's actually quite uncool. It's a van with a box on the back.
Yes, yeah.
But I respect them.
Okay.
And I think, well done, you are providing a worthwhile service.
Yeah.
And I think if this gets people out of SUVs, then it is also providing a worthwhile service. That said, some of the things that are bad about SUVs, don't actually think this is going to do much better at. Like this will be bloody
it's
heavy.
Very heavy. It's going to be
quite
quite
If you hit someone
inefficient.
in this, it'd be better than hitting them with an SUV, but it's still going to hurt. This will tear the tarmac up our roads, which are pretty awful.
It's very heavy. It's very heavy. I can't disagree with any of that.
But from a sort of like packaging, making the most of the space, the footprint and everything.
If you went and bought a 7-seat SUV that was the same sort of size as this, you'd have so much less space.
You'd have a Cadillac Escalade or something like that, wouldn't you?
You wouldn't actually. I mean, this is, what's this, 4.9 metres long? That's the same length as...
Why would you have that information in your
This
head?
is because I've looked it up. This is
it's on there.
It's not actually on there. It's only the width and the height.
So it's such a big vehicle, they have to put a sticker on the windscreen to warn you.
Yes, that's exactly right.
You know, you'd have to pay more
money.
And
I have to think about when I'm going into car parks with height restrictions in this.
That's ridiculous. It's a family car.
Yeah. It is tall.
Do you know you'd have to pay more money to go on the Eurotunnel?
Probably.
Yeah, because it's 1.86.
Yeah, I've had to, for our ferry booking for the summer, I've had to put because it's over 1.86. I've had to do it as a high vehicle. And pay more as a result.
We take the S-Max to France, and the kids would love it. Well, they don't love it. They always get anxious because you're driving along and you're going in the low lane, and they're like, and I drive towards it full speed, And everyone's going, "Oh no, that looks really close, really." And
You're mean.
It passes by about 2 inches. It's fine.
If you know, it's fine.
Yeah. But one day, someone who listens to this channel, to this podcast.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, there's no one, but someone who does. And they work at Eurotunnel, that's not Steve, someone who works in the car park. One day they're going to put an extra link in the chain. And they're just going to sit there and you wait. And Red S-Max is going to come in here in a minute and it's going to be absolutely hilarious. He's going to take his windscreen out and then he'll run the country. Brilliant. And then his wife's going to kill him.
Yep. Now, where I was going with the 4.9 metres is something like a really big 7-seat SUV, like a Mazda CX-80 or a Discovery or whatever like that, is the same sort of length. Is the same sort of length as this. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not actually any smaller. So this, I guess where I'm going with that is, it's if you're having a big 7-seat thing that can fit 7 people in actually properly, it's always going to be this size. So I can get away with. I can accept the size of it.
I prefer,
because I think it does more with its footprint. Like you say.
No, it does do a lot with its footprint. Although a lot of space seems to be wasted at the front there.
Yeah, I mean, but you find that in like a Espace or something like that. They've got these big long kind of, just because of the shape.
Yeah, but there's no engine that's got to go under there.
No, that's true. But there is a motor, and I suppose they probably put some battery in there, and so that you can have less battery under the floor to give you more space in here. There's probably a bit of battery in there, and so on and so forth.
I think, I wanted to like it, and I wanted to respect it, and I want more manufacturers to do this.
Yes,
basically.
Yeah,
I think if we do that with Renault, come on, this is your time. This is your domain, isn't it, Renault? Get on it.
Well, I mean, seriously, if you did what they've done with the 5.
Yeah.
Do that with the Espace, like a Mark 1 looking Espace, like retro.
Oh,
imagine.
Yes. No one would buy it, but it'd be so cool. It'd be so cool.
But you would look at it and go, "That's awesome."
I would honestly, if one drove past, I'd remove my hat as a mark of respect.
Yeah. Even if it was electric.
Yeah,
because it probably would be electric.
I've got nothing against electric cars. I just don't want one. No, I've got nothing. In fact, no, I'd have an electric car. I can see the logic in them, but not as a fun car.
No. Yeah,
I think.
Yes and no. We've talked about fun electric cars in the past.
Everyone will just say about the acceleration, and it's like it's boring after a while.
You can make them fun, but we're only at the beginnings of that. I'm broadly agreeing with you that actually, electric cars, for me, an electric car as a daily drive is great.
In town, they're probably does a better job than an internal combustion engine.
They're quieter, they're smoother. The acceleration at low end where you want it in town is seamless and
zipping
so on
out into traffic and everything like that.
Exactly.
And then when you stop,
this coming down here is the first time I've driven it. This moves surprisingly well for a thing of its size and weight. I think it's got 280 odd horsepower or something like that, so it's not slow.
Yeah.
But obviously you wouldn't want to go
280 tons.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. You wouldn't want to go flinging it around because it's probably a bit. I've not tried it in corners yet, but it's probably. I went round a couple of roundabouts and I was like, "Oh, it's a bit ponderous." But
is that because of the flex in the plastic steering column?
I
know what I drove the other day?
It.
This is going to be something. We should have done the thing at the beginning of the podcast where we talk about things we've done.
Okay.
And I'm going to.
What have you been up to, Rich?
I'm going to surprise you with something. This is not work related. It's only a by the by thing, but I suddenly thought of it. So I drove what I would class as a new car.
Okay.
Actually looking at it, I don't think you'll class it as a new car at all. But I drove what I would class as a new car recently, being something that you'd think, I don't think he'd like that, and I quite enjoyed it.
Go on.
It was a Mini.
Now I am surprised at that because I would have thought you wouldn't like a Mini.
It was a 5-door Mini.
Oh, that's quite a new one then.
It was like
relatively
a 16.
New. Yeah, okay.
Like a 16, 17.
Yeah, I think that's roughly when they brought them out.
Had a 2-litre BMW diesel engine.
Okay.
It was a Cooper S.
Yep.
Which my mother-in-law owns.
Oh, okay.
Actually, do you know what? I quite like that.
See, I'm surprised at that because they ride quite firmly, and I thought you wouldn't.
Quite firm, but not uncomfortable. It was really the damping and everything's nice kind of. Yeah. Yeah, it's a firm ride, but it's not uncomfortable. Okay. It's the way it kind of tries to smooth off those rough edges.
Yeah.
But the stop-start element of it was absolutely brilliant.
Really?
So good.
Okay.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
You pull up at the lights. You got your foot on the brake and it stops and it cuts out instantly.
Yeah.
The first time it did it, I thought, "Oh shit, time belt's gone." I thought, well, something like
that. It's a Mini. The time belt's gone, obviously.
Yeah, I'm used to being in a Saxo or something, so I was like, "Oh, instant! Oh, this is bad." It will restart if you touch the clutch pedal.
Yep.
I could put the handbrake on and release the brake pedal.
And it knows.
And it doesn't switch back on, so I don't have to sit there with brake lights on like a knob.
Can I tell you, that is one of my most frustrating thing in a new car when they haven't wired the handbrake switch into the brake switch for the stop start. So the minute you take your foot off the brake, you put the handbrake on, take the foot off the brake, and it then starts the car and tries to push against the handbrake. Oh, it frustrates me so much.
This is a manual, so I wouldn't have had to do anything like that. But
But
yeah, so I know I'd stop, so I put my foot on the brake, and I come to a stop. The engine had cut out. Handbrake on, foot off the brake pedal, still no start. And no brake lights.
Importantly,
touch the clutch pedal slightly. Starts up.
Off she goes.
If you don't touch the clutch pedal, I sat there at lights and I thought, I wonder what else I can touch. I did that with the steering. Engine started.
That's
and
good.
I was like, someone's thought about this. This is good. This is what it should be like. The only thing that let it down was catastrophic turbo lag.
Oh, I quite like a bit of turbo lag.
To the point where you put your foot down to get out of a junction and nothing
would happen.
Literally nothing happens. And then all of a sudden it surges forward.
I wonder whether it's mapped like that because it's Cooper-S.
I wonder. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But yeah, it's below 2,000 revs. You could not drive it.
That's interesting to me because again, like you're absolutely right. I would have expected you would hate that car. But
it was bright yellow.
But they are. Oh, crikey!
I know.
I can absolutely see the appeal of a car like that. And what you're talking about there is something that really it annoys me in a modern car. Stop start is not a bad thing, but often it's really badly done. Often it doesn't work the way it should. Like you say, you do find that it's not stopping when you wanted to stop and starting when you wanted to start. And when you do find one that's well integrated, like for example, most of the Volkswagen Group cars, you can put the handbrake on and it will not turn the car back on. So you can come off the brake pedal, like you say, and it will be fine. The Volkswagen Group cars are slightly less well integrated than what you're saying, but I've not tried this, Stu. I might try it in the Skoda, see whether it turns back on when I do the turns.
Well engineered.
It's just like it's that feeling that somebody's thought about it.
It's the Saab factor.
I
used to have this when I had my Saab 9.3, and I used to think I'd do silly little things like I'd turn the dash lights off at night, and then I thought, I need to change my heater controls or something. So I'd push it, and it would turn back on. And it lights everything up, and I think, now, did I push it just to light everything back up? Or has it accepted that I know what I'm doing, and it's automatically gone up one and lit it at the same time? I think Saab would have done that. So I'm going to, and then it has indeed done that.
Yes.
And then I touch it, and I let go, and I look back at it, and it's gone off. I think, it's just nice. It feels like you've got the engineers in there with you. And
I know exactly what you mean.
You will like this. Look at this. Try this button.
And I find you get that less and less in certain modern cars. Sometimes I feel like with modern stuff, they've had to, the R&D side has been, we've just got to get it out. And so it's gone out kind of half baked, and so,
to be fair, most of the rest of that car was half baked.
And going back to what I was saying about the Volkswagen infotainment system earlier on, this is now a lot better than it was. When they first launched this, it was really bad. It was really bad. There was lots of stuff in there that you just thought they haven't thought about this. They've not thought this through. Like what I said about these sliders not being illuminated. It's catastrophically bad. When this and they rightly got rinsed for it because it was just such a stupid.
It is stupid.
Volkswagen was a company that you felt like used to be one of those companies that used to think of things.
Volkswagen, one of the companies who. Nothing they did was exciting, I would say, but everything was well thought out and worked.
Exactly.
So,
and that's what I think
this is the sort of thing you'd see in a Fiat or a Citroen or something like that, or an Alfa, something a little bit like.
And what's really funny, actually, that we found, or that I found, is that Skoda, which is part of Volkswagen, obviously, have kind of seen this, and you can see little bits where Skoda have gone, that's a really silly idea, we're going to go and do it our way now. A little bit like Saab used to do under Vauxhall. Like what I mentioned to you earlier on about the fact that there's now like an always on bar along the bottom for the climate control. That means you can access it easily. When the first iteration of this system came out, only the Skodas had that. When Skoda did their skin of this software, effectively, they put the little always-on bar along the bottom because they thought, well, it's stupid to have to go into the menus to adjust it. We'll just put some temperature along here. And now all the Volkswagen Group cars have it because they've all adopted it because the Skoda's engineers went, well, it's just much more sensible to do this.
Of all the brands
you can see
that,
kind of, sorry, go on.
I was saying, of all the brands under the umbrella of VAG, Skoda are probably the one I'd relate to the most, I would have thought.
You can kind of see them thinking, the higher-ups have decided we've got to do this. We will try and create something that's better within the constraints of what we've been given, sort of thing. And as a result of that, quite a lot of the modern Skodas are actually more desirable, better thought through, and even in some cases, just as good quality as the Volkswagens. I'd have if I was going to buy brand new, I'd have an Octavia over a Golf because they're nicer inside, they're better thought out, got lots of nice little touches about them, you know, and I just think they're better cars generally.
I have no idea what I'd have.
Well, no, it's a difficult choice.
Honestly, I don't know what I'd buy.
Do you know what? Best thing to do, just get a Toyota Corolla and have done with it. Just something reliable, sensible, practical. The modern Corollas are not bad things. Modern Honda Civics are really good as well.
Yeah, but they look a bit rubbish.
They do look a bit odd. They do look a bit odd.
They had that styling right in the FN.
Yeah.
Was it the FN2 or whatever it was?
Yeah.
And then it's gone a bit too far now.
Yes.
Now it looks a bit silly.
Looks a bit odd. Yeah. I know. But I've not driven the latest Civic, but everyone I know who's driven one has said it's really good. So yeah, you know, that's there you go. That's our overall hot tip. If you're buying a family hatchback, just buy a Toyota Corolla or a Honda Civic.
What about the Buzz?
Oh, do we like the Buzz? You don't really like it.
I would like it more when we've been talking on the little screen here, a little silvery white one's come up. And I think it looks better like that.
Probably.
Than in this stupid...
Oh, I like the stupid colour scheme.
I don't mind the stupid colour scheme inside.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to have it outside.
No. So I'm going to reserve judgment on it because I got 6 months with it and I kind of want to see how, you know, I evolve. I know I don't like the touchscreen already because I've had that in other Volkswagens. The other question for me is, I don't like it when I've been exposed to it for a week. Is it something I could learn to live with? So that's a question.
It's just the first time you've got that touchscreen on long term.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be, you know, can I learn to live with it? And are there other bits of it? You know, I think, like you said, I think once we get the family in this, it's going to be a great...
But you've only got 2 kids.
Yeah, I have.
I mean, lost.
But trips out with the grandparents...
Yeah.
Couple of, you know, that's going to be great because we've never been able to do that before. We've always had to go into
hilarious
cars.
If your dad comes out and looks at it and goes, no, I can't.
He's a Volkswagen man. He'll be fine.
Yeah, he's a Volkswagen man, which means he'll like grey, silver cars with, you know, everything prim and proper and everything straight and nothing silly.
Yeah.
Just, I want my doors to thunk shut and my door handles to feel nice and none of this Daihatsu plastic in it.
It is a shame, actually, because I don't even remember, going back to our Volkswagens of old, you always got a chrome door handle. Do you remember in like a Mark IV Golf or whatever? You have like a nice chrome door handle. Nice, proper, like, you know, good, solid quality, real metal, you know. But
this is...
It's a shame. It's a shame is what it is.
It is a shame.
Yeah.
I think this could have been very good. But I would have a Previa.
But then the problem you've got is, to make it very good, you probably have to spend even more on the better materials, and then it would cost more.
And get rid of all this crap on here that you spent loads of money on.
Yeah.
Get rid of that.
You've nailed it.
Get rid of all the stupid bits.
Yeah.
Focus on... I mean, I'm not one of these people who obsesses over interior quality, as you probably guess. But, yeah, like, that's not good enough. That's just... That sharp edge under there.
Yeah, that's not... But that's because that's where the ambient lights come.
Yeah, but the C6 has got ambient lights.
But
the C6 has got ambient lights under there, and it hasn't got that sharp edge.
Yeah, but then I'm not disagreeing with you. But the other thing I find myself as a journalist doing is going all over a car doing this, and thinking, well, how many times do people actually touch?
Yeah, but if you don't do it, who's going to?
It's a fair point. Yeah, no, we have to. But there's also a thing about, you know, actually we just, that's a bit rattling. Well, that's the vent rattling. What you can hear there's the vent.
No, it's not. I don't think it is.
No?
Oh, my... That's so cheap.
Yeah, it's a bit, it is.
That's awful.
Yeah, it's not.
Look at it. Look at that bend.
Yeah. Yeah. Please don't break my long termer.
I'm stunned.
Yeah,
I'm genuinely stunned. That's awful.
Yeah.
I just, every time I get in my cars, I always think, what must new cars be like? Well, my cars are all old.
But we again, this goes back to something we've said when we talked about that high watermark in the late 90s, and that's what I mean when I'm talking about that.
But I'm just being cantankerous and like
old
and Luddite.
No, but
I want someone to turn around and go, no, they're not. They are better now. They're not, are they? They're not better. They're worse.
In terms of quality, certainly. I think that actually a lot of old cars feel nicer than this. That high watermark in the 90s is very real. You know, in terms of quality.
So if anyone has driven a 2007 Renault Master van...
Okay.
Right.
This is a departure.
That's the dashboard.
Okay.
I kid you not. Quality-wise, colour of the plastic, the feeling of it. Right, but you forgive the Renault Master van because it's a van. It doesn't even have there's no carpet in it. It's just a plastic floor and it's just made a tool for the job.
Yeah.
Quite a good tool for the job. Come on, that's appalling. That's really bad. I'm going to go and look at the reviews of this online now.
Sure. I think you'll find they all talk about the quality.
That's just broken off.
I just said, could you not break my long
You didn't even
turbo?
pull it. It just fell off.
Isn't it just, that's just a lining for the
Why would it
thing,
come
isn't it?
out?
In case you want to clean underneath it, probably.
But you could just...
It's like, do you remember those bits in old Rovers? You used to have the little tray that sat along the top and you could lift it up.
That, yeah. I like Rovers.
Yeah, same sort of thing. It's just it's got a little clip in the bottom of it to make sure it doesn't fall out.
But it did.
Yeah, because you pulled it.
No, I didn't pull it very hard. It just...
Yeah, but it's supposed to be removable for cleaning.
It's too easily removable.
I see.
Why would you... You don't need to remove that to clean it.
Too easily removable. Yeah. Look, you know, I can't defend any of that stuff. You know, it needs to be better, really.
Do you want to play a game?
Go on.
Find it. It's alright, it's not a big car.
Right, I think on that note we need to end, don't we?
Oh, there's a screw.
Thanks for listening and or watching, and we'll see you next time.
Oh, so I've got to get put in my cage now, haven't I? Go and sit on the naughty step. In your basket.
Bye.
Bye.